Hey, y'all, Michael Lunsford here, Citizens for New Louisiana. Yeah, you remember last time when we did one of these videos, I was telling you, great reviews, by the way. People call and telling me, hey, you need to do more of those. Really, it talks about, we talked about what we do behind the scenes, what no one really knows about, we don't talk about, we don't put articles out about it. Like Anita Begnaud, who left the state of Louisiana a few years ago because we caught her violating state law, which comes with a prison sentence. Before they could go get her, she moved to Virginia. Not saying they're related, but she broke the law. It has a prison sentence. She is no longer in Louisiana. What a coincidence. Well, I have another coincidence for you today. Another thing that I rarely talk about. Now, we have put out articles about this organization in the past. And let me tell you, I'll just jump right to it. Tulane Law Clinic, who's been run by a woman named Katie Schwartzmann for a long time. Let me read you. So the Livingston Parish, let me tell you why I've been waiting on this. It's been about 2 months since we got this news, and I've just, generally I don't like talking about our behind-the-scenes work anyway. Y'all told me we should talk about it. So here we are to tell you a little bit about some of the fun stuff that we do behind the scenes anyway. Back last year, she wrote a letter, Schwartzman did, to the Livingston Parish Library. We write with strong concerns about the potential removal of constitutionally protected materials from the Livingston Parish public libraries. By the way, this is when they were moving vulgar books out of the children's section and into the adult section. The potential policy of relocating challenged works violates the Constitution. It provides a presumption in favor of censorship. Imagine that. We're censoring books with instructions on how to perform sex acts and the appropriate use of adult novelty toys out of the children's section into the adult section. Tulane had a problem with it. Stigmatizing controversial books by relocating them is a First Amendment violation. Well, there you go. That is Katie Schwartzmann. There she is, her letter that she wrote to us. Tulane. Actually, she didn't write it to us. She wrote it to our friends at the Livingston Parish Library Board of Control. So why I'm waiting 2 months for this is we knew that Michelle Parrish, her time was limited. I know 6 months ago that in July they were going to have a meeting, or June or July, they were going to have a meeting where they were going to discuss her contract renewal. Well, that meeting happened in a new library board, so they pushed it back for 6 months to July, right? Well, she got fired. Her contract, I should say, was not renewed. So I knew it was going to happen. So I'm waiting to see who was going to write the letter, because I knew Schwartzman was no longer at Tulane. And I'll get to that in a minute. Sure enough, it was Allison Mills. And if that name sounds familiar, it shouldn't to most of you. But Allison Mills is the attorney for Banana Jones. Banana Jones, if you don't remember, is the library nut that sued us supposedly for defaming her because we took the words she said at a public meeting. Effectively the same stuff that was in this Tulane document, that if you move sexual books out of the children's section, you're a censor. And she said we defamed her, so she sued us in court. It's still ongoing, by the way. But her attorney, who's representing her today, is Allison Mills, the same woman who wrote a lawyer letter after Michelle Parrish got fired. Apparently, Michelle Parrish now has attorney counsel privilege, or whatever you call it, right here. Allison Mills. I would surmise, and we can't prove this, but I would surmise that Allison Mills is not doing this out of the goodness of her heart, but someone is paying her to do it, and I think at this point, Banana Jones probably has an open line of credit. So you figure it out. You let me know what you think. That's what I think. Can't prove it, but at any rate. So Tulane Law Clinic is no longer a factor. Let me rattle through a couple of the issues that we've had. And this is not a complete list. These are the things that Tulane Law Clinic has been up to over the last year or two. Town of Grand Isle, they sued the town of Grand Isle. They sued State Senator Katrina Jackson. She's too pro-life for them, I guess. They got to sue her to slow her down. Bossier City and City Council members. Lafayette Consolidated Government and Lafayette Library Board Chair. You remember that was they sued Robert Judge because one of their disruptive protesters was removed from the meeting for being disruptive. Imagine that. You have a First Amendment right to be disruptive, apparently, according to, I guess, the Tulane Law Clinic. I don't know if that is up to and including arson like they do out on the left coast, but at any rate, that's where we are. Town of Gramercy, City of Lake Charles, St. James Parish, Livingston Parish Library Board, and I have that letter. I think I just read you that. St. Tammany Parish Government, Rapides Parish Library Board, and on and on and on the list goes. I've got pages of them, of the things they did. Here's another letter they wrote. Now, here they are, Tulane Law Clinic. We're right about the proposed amendment to the library collection policies. Quote, children collections shall not include materials containing sexual content, unquote. This language is unconstitutional. A crucial part of the First Amendment is the right to receive information, a right held by children too. What do you think of that? Children have a right to read pornographic and erotic books, apparently, according to Tulane Law Clinic. At any rate, that's that. Now, who is Ms. Katie Schwartzmann, who was Tulane's head? She is a leading civil rights attorney and social justice advocate. Do you remember Banana Jones over when she was doing her podcasts and stuff? I don't know if she still, or interviews. She was telling someone how she injects social justice into what she teaches kids. So this is the same stuff. Political activism paid for by your tax dollars at Tulane University. So what was going on? Tulane has received, since Louisiana checkbook I had looked, it was about $15 million in funds from the state of Louisiana. They also, you may remember if you've been a follower for a while, they requested $30 million to build a building at Tulane University from the taxpayers, from us. And so my question was, well, why in the world would we give $15 million and another $30 million to an organization that manifests their gratitude to the state of Louisiana by suing the political subdivisions of the state and also our elected officials? Why in the world would we give them money to do that? And of course, we get some of our friends in the legislature to make phone calls and say, hey, why would we give you money if you're doing this? And of course the answer is, well, that's this division and we're at this other division and we don't talk to one another. But you know what? The university president is the university president, right? So all of the folks report back to the university president, hey, university president, why would we send you money when you have this Katie Schwartzmann woman down here suing us? Why would we do that? Why? Tell me. So I guess the question becomes, do you want the millions of dollars or do you want to keep this woman, this political activist, this social justice warrior on your payroll, continuing to do political activism on the taxpayer dole? Well, the answer came back it was 2 months ago. Hey, you know that Tulane thing you've been, y'all been having trouble with the libraries and stuff? Yeah, you don't have to worry about them anymore. They're taken care of. So I said, okay, we'll have to go look. Well, let's go look. Let's go look and see the research I did just to come, look, I do my due diligence. I love my legislative friends when they call and they tell me things, but if I can, I'm going to go find out for myself, can I verify this information? Because if I want to share it with you, I have to know it's true, right? I can't just, anyway, let's go look. All right, here we are. This is my search for Katie Schwartzmann at DuckDuckGo. And of course, this has her ACLU. I just read you this, how she's a social justice advocate. Now, if I change this up and search for Tulane, I get a different result. I get the First Amendment Clinic. Here they are, the students that are learning how to sue you and me on taxpayer dole. There she is, Katie Schwartzmann. So I click on Katie Schwartzmann, and nothing's there. In fact, if I hover over the tab, it says page not found. It's a 404, and it doesn't even have the courtesy to tell you, click here to go home or back to safety or whatever. So here, I went to the Wayback Machine, the archive.org, and pulled it up. This was the page that was there before. And it's got her biography and all the things, right? So she is, by all, let's go back to the not found page, yeah, right? So she is, by all accounts, she has been disappeared from Tulane University. Now, there's been no official statement that she's gone. I don't even know where she is. She might have retired. She might be going back to the ACLU. We don't know. But I do know one thing. She's not at Tulane Law Clinic anymore. So listen, if you appreciate the work we do, even the stuff that's behind the scenes that you generally wouldn't know about until I've been encouraged to share with you some of this stuff. Become a member of our organization, become a donor, regular monthly contributor. It's not much. It's like $1 a day for the basic membership amount. There's even one for $10 a month that you can get just to chip in and help us continue this great work we're doing, because unlike Tulane University, we have no taxpayer funding at all. We do this work to defend the taxpayers against people like this that want to inject their woke ideology into our children using your tax dollars. So help me defend the line. Help me to continue to do this work. Become a member at newlouisiana.org, and we'll send you a cool pen and some other package stuff, and you'll really geek out about it. All right, until next time, keep doing your research, keep following along, and we'll show you more stuff.